No niin, kiitos paljon kutsusta Samuli ja Tiina tähän tapahtumaan. Ensimmäinen minä haluan aloittaa sanomalla sanan suomeksi, koska se on yli 4 vuotta, että minä olen asunut Kuopiossa. Ja nyt ajattelin, että on aika näyttää, että minä olen oikeasti puhua suomea ja oppia kieltä, mutta suomi on tosi vaikea kieli, eikä olekin. Kiitos. Mutta en puhua suomea vain, koska se on olisi hidasta ja ehkä vähän boring. Ja nyt joten vaihtan ja puhun englantiin. Kiitos paljon. I'm going to keep my presentation pretty short, but I practice to working like 15 minutes, but I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. I'm going to give some hints maybe about my personal journey in Kuopio, in Finland, and about international talents in Finland in general, the opportunities and the challenges. My presentation is going to focus a little bit about, at first about me, my first impressions when I came to Kuopio, how I found my way during my times in 4 years of being in Kuopio, how the challenges and the opportunities that I faced, how I ended up in business Kuopio. But I would like to focus on the last 2 slides on the bigger picture in North Savo region in general, the challenges that the region, of course it was mentioned very nicely by Rasmus and Laura and the others, Minna, pretty well, but maybe from another point of view I would like to mention and wrap it up with the international talents challenges from a bigger picture. A little bit about me, very short. My education background was in bachelor's in industrial management in Iran, and my first master's in technology management in 2012. And after 9 years of educational gap, I came to Kuopio and started my education in international business and sales management. Career-wise, I started already in 2011 when I was doing my master's in Iran in commercialization and business development in the biotechnology and biopharmaceutical industry. And when I came to Kuopio, I had the chance to actually be in Talent Hub, and I found the lead to Business Kuopio during the Talent Hub. So a big shout out to Talent Hub for all the opportunity, also the connections that I found during my way. And then I ended up in the project, investing Kuopio Savo region project, at that time running in Business Kuopio, and now I'm working as a business advisor, doing mainly business sparring, event planning, and international kind of collaborations and tasks, and also partially working at Business Center North Savo. But my first impression, I came to Kuopio from a city, a capital city in Iran, with the population of more than 10 million people, to a small city in Kuopio with only 128,000 people. So the first impression for me was like silence and quiet streets. And during winter time, no people. But that was good. At first I thought that this silence means that Finland and Finnish people are not welcoming and are not friendly, but vice versa. I realized after a while that this silence means comfort. Even in a small and quiet city like Kuopio, during holidays, people would like to go to the woods, to their summer cottages, where they cannot hear even that 2 cars passing by. So that silence means that they really want to gain the energy, and they care about the nature and the quality of life a lot. The temperature-wise, -5, +40 in hot summers in my city, hometown. I came to Kuopio, where the city during winter times covered by snow, and the temperature goes as below as -30, and even last year 35 or something. But these pictures, I personally selected them, and some of them I took it myself, that after 4 years, I've been able to see the Northern Lights a couple of times, tried sauna, and now I'm doing it regularly, and become more like a coffee drinker rather than tea. So I've become more Finn, I would say, after 4 years, because some of my friends, Finnish friends, they haven't had a chance to see Northern Lights, so I brag about it to them. But I didn't come to Kuopio completely blind without any information. I did my research. I was reading articles, I was following influencers on YouTube and Instagram to get familiar with the city and the country that I'm coming to. I already knew that Finnish people are introvert and they're not getting and becoming friendly right at the beginning, but it takes time. You need to build that trust. But it is completely different when you hear and read about something or see the videos rather than coming to the actual place and feel it, to see and feel that cold winter into your bones, to see that how -30 actually feels like. So for me, it was a really amazing journey so far. But my phase along the path, the challenges that I faced along my path, at first, the adapting phase for me happened. That when I came, I had this in my mind that I'm going to find communities from my country, Iranian communities, as well as Finns community, to make friends with Finns, to get familiar with the culture, to learn the language. This is also another way of getting familiar with the culture. So I started learning it, I'm still learning it, and it's a really difficult language to learn. And building my networks was another goal that I had in mind, that I need to get connected with as many people as I can. And this is what I remember from one of my mentors at university, that try to get to know people, mainly in smaller cities like Kuopio, because these connections are going to help you in the end, and it did for me. The challenges, of course, after I was able to manage to find a job and I ended up in that project in Business Kuopio, understanding the work culture, Finnish work culture, was something challenging, even though I had the work experience and somehow in an international environment also, but still for me some of the things were like a question mark, and I had to learn it by doing it. So I made mistakes, but the thing is that I received this support which is available, and I'm really grateful for that, either at university or at workplace, that whenever you need help, there is also some support kind of mentally, physically, that if you need any kind of help, there is always something for you to be advised. And that trust that I said, it is really important at work, and to prove that you are a trustworthy person. And it takes time that you gain that trust, but by the time you get it with Finnish culture, is like you have it for good. And the language is a big challenge. But the opportunities, as I mentioned, is a supportive work-life balance, which is something that Finnish people cherish a lot, and they care about this balance in work and life. I'm not going to separate them because, it has to be like together. But I would like to look at the bigger picture from and not outside the box. That it was mentioned in Rasmus, I guess, presentation very nicely and very deeply with all the stats. But I would like to go and to refer to this quotation about the aging issue, which was mentioned by Jukka Mönkönen, Director Emeritus of UEF, and it was taken from Kuopio by Nature magazine this year. Quote, "The aging issue in society is spiraling out of control. The solution lies in education-based immigration. The number of international students should be doubled, and they should be offered jobs in the region. This requires extensive cooperation and a strong will." End of quote. This perspective shows that how important it is, and this support doesn't actually just go for the individuals, but also supports the growth and development of the region as well. And I would like to also mention these numbers by UEF and Savonio. Altogether, UEF and Savonio, they have approximately more than 2,500 international talents. this is like a big number. This is like investment that these universities are making on these talents. They are training them, and what happens is that the good news is, UEF mentioned, out of the international talents, 80% of them, they want to find employment and they want to stay in the region. So what the region should do, they need to offer this job because they're willingly, actually willingly hoping to find this opportunity to work. And Savonia, 89%, if I'm not mistaken, 89% is the number for the student employment, and 63% of the students are remaining in the area. If we look at these numbers from the bright side, is that we have good willingness and we have still number of students who are staying, would like to stay in the region. But on the other side is that the other 37% are leaving the region. It means that all the investment that has been done to train them for like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they're just taking that training and they're just leaving the region and they're going to either other cities, bigger cities, capital area mainly, or even other countries if they cannot find any job opportunities in Finland. I would like to take this opportunity not just to mention my challenges and the problems that I face as an international talent, but also be like the representative maybe on behalf of all the other international talents. These are the challenges thanks to Talent First, Reetta. Yeah, thank you for providing these main points. The most maybe important problem would be the employment and the opportunities for the job opportunities for the international students, international talents. Lack of the jobs and these opportunities, internships, that the job market now is not going pretty well for the international talents who are seeking for jobs. Those so-called hidden jobs, that this mismatching also, and the hidden jobs that the employers are not willing to post about these kind of job opportunities in public. And this is also goes to another factor thing, that rethinking the work mindset. Employers, they need to change their mindset and look at the recruiting of international talents and look at it not as a risk, but as a growth opportunity. It was mentioned nicely by Laura that international talents, they're bringing diversity, they're bringing language, culture, they're bringing innovation, thinking outside the box. So these are very important factors that international talents are just bringing along with their expertise, of course, along with their also backgrounds. And a low threshold networking and regional cooperation between job seekers and the employers. This is also very important to create this kind of networking. This legislation and this rule, 3 to 6 months of unemployment rule that has been implemented into action, it is going to cause in long term a bigger problem for maybe those working, let's say, not as students, but after they change their residence permit to working status, it's going to cause a problem. Employment opportunities also for spouses. It was mentioned also that Finland is considered to be a nice place for families. So this opportunity, because some of these international talents, they come to pursue education, but they come with their families. It is important to provide this opportunity for their family members as well. Practical barriers is focusing mainly on the transportation and this commuting. Inside the city, it is perfect, the communication and the transportation. But when it comes mainly for the summer jobs, in the regional, in the suburb areas, outside the city, that's where the problem happens, because it is not very convenient. And lack of affordable housing. Sorry, I'm speaking very fast because I've been told that my time is over, and I try to be as fast as possible. Language and integration, two of the very most factors, because I would say that integration is even more than finding a job, because internationals need to fully feel like they are welcome in the community and in the society. Either they're a student at university or in a wider perspective in working and in Kuopio as a general, in Kuopio community. This is so important that they feel like they're welcomed, they're heard, they're seen. And of course, this language has always been a problem. I don't know how we can find a way, because it doesn't happen. Learning Finnish language, it just doesn't happen by reading books. It just doesn't happen through going to the classes. It's not just by saying a couple of sentences. It happens, you can improve your language skills by being in the place, by actually working on it in practice. So it requires time, of course, and it requires the duration of practicing it in your work. So work-related language skills is something really important. And another thing also in the integration is that international talents, or in general international immigrants, they hang out with the internationals and less with the Finns. So making these kind of joint workshops, joint programs, events that they can get together, they can communicate more, so that by that they are going to learn the language, they're going to learn the Finnish culture, and all of that is just going to, they're going to extend their network as well. And the last one is the process and the support that by the time the students are studying their education, this is important to provide this path by the time that they are a student. So from the beginning, they know how the path is going to go until, for example, after 2 years, until they go and get into the market. The first, I would say, 6 months of the student life in Kuopio, in the country, maybe for most of them, it's like the very first time being in Kuopio, or in the region, in Finland in general. That first 6 months is really critical, because all the mental breakdowns and depression and everything happens, if it's going to ever happen to the person. And they need to feel like those integration, those understanding of the culture and all the problems that may come. That first 6 months is really important for the students, and this path is also important. A stronger cooperation, better communication for international students, and considering of family arrival, something that I also mentioned before. Thank you so much. And my last word would be that keep your sense of humor, because winters are pretty long here. Thank you so much.